What's up, YouTubers and Pink Floyd fans alike? Well, in this one, I'm going to do the third Pink Floyd studio album, and it's also their first out of at least two soundtrack albums for their out of their whole discography that were also considered studio albums, and that is the album More for the movie of the same name. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure half the movie. I'm pretty sure half the experience of the soundtrack is seeing the movie, but I haven't really seen the movie, so I gotta go by the half that I have seen, and that's just the music itself. And there's 13 tracks. There's a lot of instrumentals on the album, and it's one of only 3 or 4 technically. It's one of the few albums that only have David Gilmore as the sole vocalist for the album. With that being said, I guess compared to their other 2 albums, especially Saucer Full of Secrets, their previous one, and this one seems a little more. It's great instrumentals and everything, great instruments being used, but it definitely seems a little more toned down, both in sound and lyrical quality. This is still one of the few albums that isn't really that known by a lot of people that aren't Pink Floyd fans, and it's one of those albums that that all the members of the band actually contributed to. So, and it was just fresh from their second album where they just dispatched Sid Gilmore, and there was the 4-piece band that everybody knows of. And it was basically the second album to that, and it was only 2 years after Pink Floyd started becoming the studio album band Pink Floyd with Piper in 1967. Anyway, with More, it came out in 1969. There's 13 tracks to it. Like I said, a majority of them is instrumentals. The other part is pretty much, like I said, David Gilmore. Like his lyric, his vocals isn't bad. The songs aren't really that bad or anything. They just seemed a little more at a lower level than a Saucer Full of Secrets album quality is. And again, the instrumentals are good, or the instruments in total are pretty good. But again, it's just not. It seems like it's a lower level than a Saucer Full of Secrets. It just seems like it's a little more. I guess, lack of a word, relaxed than Saucer was, and I would probably give this one a 7 out of 10, so a 70% by that logic. So lower than Saucer Full of Secrets, but higher than Piper at the Gates of Dawn. But like I said, it's a pretty quick album. Like the longest song on there is it's like 7 minutes long. And it doesn't even reach the 7.5 minute long barrier, and a good portion of the other songs are anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes long, with a couple of 5-minute ones thrown here and there, but not that long of an album at all. And again, I'm aware that it's a soundtrack album, not just a studio album, and I haven't seen said film, so I don't know if that really affects my whole opinion on the album, but I would say I would recommend it as a great album. Or as a good album, I would say. It's definitely one of Pink Floyd's decent ones in the earlier years. I'd say the ones after that, with the exception of Oogum Dogma, I'd say the other ones kind of outdo this one. And again, like I said, Saucer Full of Secrets kind of outdoes this one as it is already. But definitely, again, not a bad album. It's not anywhere near as, I guess, low quality as the Piper at the Gates of Dawn is. It's again, it's way more easy flowing. It's relaxing, and it kind of has some of that '60s feel to it, but it's not the stereotypical '60s sound like a Piper at the Gates of Dawn was, or at least in my opinion, it wasn't. And that's basically all I can really say about it. Again, it's really not that much to say about the album, because it just, in my opinion, is there's really not much to, I guess, take from the album. Then again, I'm only hearing half the part of the story. I'm not seeing the movie that the album's supposed to go for. Anyway, there's, I would say all the songs are pretty great. All the songs are pretty easy and enjoyable to listen to. Yeah, I guess mine's drawing blank there, but I guess before I forget, There are, I guess, two of the heaviest Pink Floyd songs on this album, and that is the Nile song and Isabar or Isabel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but they're really more two of the heavy, I guess, heavy prog rock songs out of all of Pink Floyd's song listing, and they're definitely great songs. They actually kind of remind me of Ween. If anybody knows what that band is, I'm pretty sure I'll be doing a lot of reviews for their albums eventually in the future. But anyway, one of Ween's influences, like many other bands in the late 20th and early 21st century, Pink Floyd was a huge influence in that. And definitely with this album, with the first listen I did and the listen I just heard recently, I definitely, especially with those two heavy songs, feel a very strong Ween vibe, especially with their Quebec album. It just, nothing to complain about. It's just a great paying homage thing. They both sound like they each kind of tribute off of one or the other, whereas Ween kind of tributed off of, whereas everybody knows Ween kind of contributed off of Pink Floyd as well as many other bands. Don't know why I got tongue-tied there. But anyway, even without that fact, the fact that they're the heaviest songs doesn't really change anything. They actually are pretty decent songs on the album. They don't stand out too much to where it's way noticeable compared to the other tracks, but it's definitely one where you take notice first listen, and again, it just flows perfectly with the rest of the album more. I mean, it's a good album. I'd almost want to say it's a great album. Like I said, I give it a 7 out of 10 and it's 70%. Again, okay, not really much more I can say with it. Sorry for the bad pun. And I guess I'll see you next time when I do their fourth studio album, which is half a live album, half, I guess, solo project album, Uma Dogma. And with that being said, I hope you guys have a good one. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and peace.